Tariq Bello had never heard the word no in his life. As the only son of Laji Bello, one of Abuja's wealthiest businessmen, he had been spoiled with luxury cars, designer clothes, and endless vacation. While his father worked tirelessly to expand their empire, Tariq spent his days hopping from one lavish event to another, basking in the admiration of those eager to be in his orbit. But despite having everything, there was an emptiness in his life quite that he couldn't quite place. One evening at his university library, an unusual place for someone like him, he saw her, Amina, the girl with a determined gaze and an air of quiet strength. She sat hunched over a pile of books, her finger flying across the keyboard. Something about her pulled him in, but as he approached, she barely spared him a glance. For the first time, Tariq felt invisible, and it's both annoying and intrigued him. Amina used to have no place for distraction. Coming from a struggling family in Kaduna, she had fought tooth and nail for her scholarship at this prestigious university. Unlike her wealthy classmates, she didn't have the luxury of leisure. Every moment was dedicated to securing a future that would lift her family out of hardship. When Tariq saluted over, including arrogance and privilege, she didn't bother looking up. She knew his type, boys who thought wealth made them special. She had no patience for entitlement. Do you mind? She said sharply, barely glancing at him. Tariq's jaw tightened, unused to being dismissed. For the first time, he had met someone who was unimpressed by his name, and he wasn't sure whether to walk away or try harder. Tariq had never been ignored before, and Amina's indifference intrigued something inside him. He made it his mission to get her attention, showing up at the library more often, asking about her studies, even attempting to read some of the herbal textbooks she carried. Amina remained unimpressed, but Tariq wasn't one to break down from a challenge. One evening, he overheard her discussing a business case study with a friend. For the first time, Tariq realized she wasn't just smart, she was brilliant. And for the first time in his life, he felt inadequate. If he truly wanted Amina's respect, he had to be more than a rich boy with an easy life. He had to prove he could also too. Determined to understand Amina's world, Tariq enrolled in an entrepreneurship competition hosted by the university. It was glowing contest meant for students with real business acumen, not spoiled hair who rely on family wealth. His father laughed at the idea, but Tariq was determined. Amina was surprised when she saw his name on the participant list. You, competing for a business challenge, she said, raising an eyebrow. Tariq shrimped. Why not? I have ideas too. She shrugged. We will see. As the competition began, Tariq quickly realized how unprepared he was. His classmates dissented complex business model with ease while he struggled to keep up. But for the first time, he wasn't discouraged. He was motivated. He wanted to win, not for the prize, but to prove to Amina and to himself that he was more than just a coding boy. Tariq slumbled through the first round of the competition, barely making it through. His privileged background had shielded him from challenges, but now he faced real struggle. Amina watched from distance, surprised by his perseverance, but still unimpressed. He sought her help, but she refused, insisting he needed to earn success on his own. Determined to improve, Tariq swallowed all pride and reached out to mentors. He spent late nights researching, asking questions, and refining his ideas. The experience humbled him, forcing him to acknowledge his weakness and put in the hard work necessary for success. Amina, despite her reluctance, noticed Tariq's effort. He was no longer the arrogant, rich boy he was enveloping. She admired his persistency, but kept her guard up. Tariq, on the other hand, grew more certain. He didn't just want her attention, he wanted to become the kind of man worthy of her respect. Despite her initial resistance, Amina found herself giving Tariq small pointer. He was genuinely trying, and it was hard to ignore his determination. She gave him reading materials, challenged his ideas, and even debated business strategy with him. Slowly, Tariq understanding deeper. Tariq and Amina found themselves spending more time together. They studied late into the night, bouncing ideas off each other. Tariq admired her determination, while Amina was surprised by his growing intellect. A friendship, fragile but real, started to take shape. As the competition advanced, Tariq faced stronger opponents. His ideas were challenged, and for the first time, he felt truly pressured. Amina watched closely, ready to see if he would crack or rise to the challenge. Amina battled personal difficulties, family financial problems, and pressure to excel. Tariq noticed her stress and for the first time sought to help her. He helped in ways that weren't about money, but effort, bringing food, offering to help with errands, and simply listening. Tariq further noticed the change in him. The once carefree heir was becoming serious about business. Alaji Bello was skeptical but impressed. Amina, too, started seeing Tariq as more than a spoiled brat. A rival competitor sabotaged Tariq's project. For a moment, he considered using his father's influence to fix it, but Amina challenged him. Are you going to take the easy way out or fight like the rest of us? Tariq refused to let the setback define him. With Amina's help, he started over, working twice as hard. His resilience grew, and for the first time, he understood true hustle. Through shared struggle, Tariq and Amina became closer. Their friendship deepened beyond competition. They respected each other as equals. Tariq barely made it to the semi-final, but his growth was undefinable. His competitors respected him, and even Amina couldn't hide her pride. Tariq finally admitted his feelings to Amina. She was hesitant. Her dream come first, but for the first time, she considered the possibility of love alongside ambition. The final round loomed. Tariq and Amina worked harder than ever, pushing each other to new heights, win or lose. Tariq knew this was bigger than a competition. It was about proving himself. Tariq presented his final project. His voice was steady, his ideas sharp. He was no longer just a rich kid. He had earned his place. Seeing Tariq's transformation, Amina made a choice to let him into her life, not as a distraction, but as a partner. Love and ambition could coexist. The final rounds of the competition arrived. Tariq stood before the judges, his palms slightly sweaty, but his confidence unwavering. He presented his business idea, once focused on empowering young entrepreneurs from underprivileged backgrounds. His speech was passionate, his research thoughts, and for the first time, he wasn't relying on his father's name. He was standing on his own merit. Amina watched, pride swelling in her chest. The judge deliberated for what felt like an eternity before announcing the winner. Tariq has secured second place. Disappointed but not defeated, he looked at Amina, who simply smiled. This is just the beginning, she said, and for the first time, he truly believed it. Tariq had lost the competition, but gained something greater purpose. He refused to let the momentum fade. Instead of sulking, he took his business idea and began refining it. His father, for the first time, saw his son as a man, not a boy, and offered guidance, not as a benefactor, but as a mentor. Tariq didn't want handouts anymore. He wanted to build something real. Amina, on the other hand, received an offer for an internship at a top consulting firm. It was everything she had worked for, yet she hesitated. Tariq saw the conflict in her eye. Go, he urged. Your dream matters just as much as mine. It was then she knew he understood her in a way no one else did. Amina left for an internship and Tariq threw himself into launching a startup. The distance tested their relationship, but they had built something stronger than fleeting romance. They encouraged each other from afar, pushing one another to be better. Tariq learned the true meaning of patience and commitment, while Amina realized love doesn't have to be a distraction, it could be a motivation. Months later, Tariq starts up again transition. His initiative to support young entrepreneurs resented with many, earning him recognition. Investors took notes, not because of his father's wealth, but because of his work ethics. Amina, now excelling in her internship, returned home to see a changed man, one who has built his success with his own hand. One quiet evening, Terry and Amina sat on the rooftop, looking over the Abuja skyline. We have come a long way, Tariq mused. Amina nodded, and we still have a long way to go. They weren't the same people they had been when they first met. Tariq was no longer the entitled rich boy, and Amina has learned that love and ambition didn't have to be an odds. He had built something real, not just a relationship, but a shared vision of success and fulfillment. With their future wide open, they faced the world together, knowing that no matter where their paths lead, they had already won in ways that truly mattered.